Good morning, students. So, in EVS, today we are going to cover three topics. They are carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, and hydrological cycle. Carbon is the main component of biological compound as well as major component of many minerals. So, there are series of processes in which carbon compound are interconverted in the environment. So, carbon cycle is a set of biogeochemical processes by which carbon undergoes a set of chemical reactions which changes the form of carbon as it moves through different reservoirs on Earth. Let's see what are the four different reservoirs. So, the first one is biosphere. So, carbon is present in the form of organic molecule in living and dead organisms. Second is in combination with oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide and present in the atmosphere. Next is in soil, it is present in organic matter. It is present even in fossil fuels and sedimentary rocks in lithosphere. In ocean also it is present as carbon dioxide and calcium carbonate, which is mainly found in the shells of marine animals. So from here you can understand that carbon is present everywhere in ocean, air, soil, rocks, everywhere. And in course of its cycle it just changes its form from one form to another. For example, in air it is present in the form of carbon dioxide, which is used by the plant for photosynthesis. Then that plant is consumed by animals such as herbivores. That herbivores are consumed by carnivores. In this manner the carbon just transferred from one organism to another, and when these animals or organisms die, it may get converted to fossil fuels and may trap there for million years. In time, when burned, it will re-enter as carbon dioxide in the air. Now let's read what are man's impacts on carbon cycle. So burning of fossil fuel increases the amount of carbon dioxide, that is also known as greenhouse gas, and is responsible for causing global warming. As we know, plants take carbon dioxide and give oxygen. So deforestation removes the autotrophs, which result in increasing the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So it is true that our life is not possible without carbon dioxide, but if it becomes too much in the atmosphere, then it leads to global warming, which have some major consequences. So the consequences are given here. First one is effect on food production. So due to rise in temperature, there will be a change in fruit growing areas. Even rise in temperature favor growth of pests, weeds and crop diseases. There is effect on biodiversity as well, because due to this abnormal increase in temperature, many species will become extinct. Many natural habitats will be lost. There is effect on climate as well, as there will be increase in average global temperature, melting of glaciers, heavy rainfalls, etc. There would be rising in sea levels, flooding of coastal areas, beach erosion, etc. Next one is phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus is an important constituent of nucleotides, means DNA. It is also required to form nucleic acid, which carry out genetic information in cells, and also required for bone formation. But phosphorus cycle is one of the slowest biochemical cycle. It fairly moves fast through plants and animals, but it moves very slow through water, soil, and sediments. Phosphorus is not found in air, and it is present in liquid form at room temperature. Phosphorus is found in phosphate salt and is released by withering. So here you can see the rocks, withering of rocks. So this phosphate in rock is passed into the soil. Some of it may pass into the water as well, means present in solution, in soluble form. Even some of it is absorbed by the plants. Those plants are consumed by herbivorous animals, so it transfers into the animals as well. When those plants and animals die, they are fed by detritus, means the microorganism which feed on dead and decaying matter. So detritus present in soil, they just decompose it, and again the phosphorus mix into the soil. So as I have told, some phosphorus present in water it's just flow into the water as well. The phosphate which mix in water, it just precipitate at the bottom of the water body and forms rock. And due to uplifting of rock somewhere, and then due to high temperature, pressure or rainfall, the withering of rock take place, and again it just mixed with the soil, then water, and the same cycle goes on. Next is impact of man on the phosphorus cycle. So phosphorus is the limiting factor as it is present in very low amount in the soil in the form of phosphate salt. One of the major causes deforestation, as phosphate in the soil reduces in the tropical forest due to deforestation. Mining of phosphate rocks for commercial purposes reduces the phosphate supply. Agricultural runoff and discharge of sewage causes eutrophication, which disturbs the aquatic ecosystem. So the last one is hydrological cycle, means water cycle, about which you have already read in previous classes. So it starts with the evaporation of water. So as the water vapor goes up, it cools down and condenses to form cloud. So once the clouds become heavy, they return to the surface of the earth as rain. So on reaching the earth, it may evaporate again and return to the atmosphere, or may enter the earth and become groundwater. Then the groundwater may enter the stream, oceans, or may be taken up by plants and enter the atmosphere through transpiration. So in this manner, the balance of water remains on the surface and enter the ocean, and the cycle begins again. But there are some significant impact on water cycle due to man's action. They are removal of vegetation for agricultural, mining, or developmental purpose increase surface runoff, which leads to increase in flood, accelerates landslides and soil erosion, even reduces the level of groundwater. Removal of fresh water in excessive quantity disturbs water cycle. Water pollution is one of the major causes for disturbing the water cycle.